Welcome to a code report solution video. In this video, we're going to be covering the solution to problem 3 from the Leetcode contest number 108 entitled Minimum Falling Path Sum. The problem states, given a square array of integers a, we want the minimum sum of a falling path through a. A falling path starts at any element in the first row and chooses one element from each row. The next row's choice must be in a column that is different from your previous row's column by at most 1. And the constraints for this problem is that the dimension for our 2D array, or square array A, is going to be between 1 and 100, and the values of each of the elements in that 2D array is going to be between -100 and 100. So let's take a look at the example that Leetcode provided us with. So here's the example, here's the representation of our 2D array, and the output for this example is 12. So it's pretty hard to see it just from looking at this 2D array here represented on one line, but if we visualize this, it looks as follows. So it's simply just a 3x3 square that has the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so the way that this problem works is you basically just want to find the path with the lowest or minimum sum going from the top row to the bottom row. And the only rule is that whatever row that you're currently at or column that you're currently in, you can only move to either the column directly below it, so the same column, or one to the left and one to the right. So a maximum difference plus or minus 1 from your current column. And it's pretty trivial, this example. It's just going to be moving straight down in the first column, which is going to give you 1 plus 4 plus 7, which is 12. So this is a trivial example. It doesn't really inform much of what we have to do. So let's take a look at a different example. So here we have a 4x4 grid with some random values and some negatives thrown in there as well. And the solution to this one is to start in the top left and end in the second column by taking the following path. So 1 plus -1 gives us 0, minus 3 is -3, minus 6 is -9. So the answer to this will be -9, which is easy enough to see just by looking at it, but how do we write an algorithm that gives us this solution? So one method would be to try recursion. However, recursion is going to have a time complexity of n times 3 to the n, roughly, if there's no optimization, which is definitely going to time out, given that we can have n being up to 100. And the way the recursive algorithm would work is you basically, you try, each of your starting points, and then from there you've got 3 choices, and each of those 3 choices has 3 choices, and there are going to be some bounds. You can't go outside of your square, but the point is this recursive algorithm is going to end up timing out. However, there is a dynamic programming solution which is actually pretty intuitive, and it's only going to have time complexity that's quadratic. So let's take a look at how we would go about implementing this dynamic programming solution. So the first thing we're going to need is our 2D DP array, and it's going to have the same dimensions as our array A our 2D array A that we start with, and we're going to initialize the first row of our DP vector to be equal to the first row of our A vector. And so once we have this, what we need to note is that getting to any one of the cells in the next row only has 3 possible paths that you can get. So if we take a look at this cell here, we can only get to this cell from the one right above it, the one to the left and above it, and the one to the right and above it. So basically what we can do is just take the minimum of these 3 and store it here plus the current value that is in A. And that's going to give us the minimum path, or the minimum sum that we can get the minimum sum we can get the minimum sum possible getting to this cell. So what that'll look like is, for our first cell that we have here, we're going to take the minimum of these 2 values and then add that to our current value here. So we take the minimum of 1 and 2, which is going to be 1, and add that to 4, and then we get 5. And then we're just going to continue to do this for every single cell until we get our whole array filled. So for this element here, we're going to take the minimum of 1, 2, and 3 and add it to -1, which gives us 0. And we just continue to do this. So minimum of 2, 3, and 4 is 2, added to 3 is 5. Minimum of 3 and 4 is 3, added to -2 is 1. And if we continue to do this, we end up with the following. And once you have your DP vector filled, all you have to do is take a look at the last row, which has the minimum sums of all the falling paths that end in each of the cells, and take the minimum of these values. And if we do that, we can see that -9 is the minimum, which at the beginning we noted is the optimal solution. So this is actually a pretty straightforward problem. All you have to recognize is that for each cell after the first row, there's only a maximum of 3 possible ways to get to that cell. And if we take the minimum of those 3 and sort of store that for each row in our DP vector and rely on that for calculating the next row, we can get to our solution. So let's take a look at our code. So here is our C++ solution. Note that in here we're making use of a couple type aliases and a couple macros, which are just here. So for loops for I and j, and vi is a vector of integers, and vvi is a vector of integers. And at the top of our function, we're just setting a local variable n to be the size of, or the dimension of our square vector. And then we declare a vector of vectors integer dp that it has the same dimensions as our 2D vector a. And then we initialize the first row of our 2D vector dp to be equal to the first row of our 2D vector a. And then we have our nested for loop, which for the rows starts at the second row, which has index 1, and then for the columns goes from 0 to n. And this is the 3 sort of settings here. So the 3 different possible paths. So we initialize the value at dpij to just be equal to the sum of the value at aij, and then added to the the minimum sum that took to get to the cell right above, so in the previous row but in the same column. And then we just have a simple check here to make sure that we don't go out of bounds of our array, and then we potentially reset the value at dpij to be the minimum when you're looking to the left and to the right of the previous row. And once you do that, like I said in the visual solution, all you have to do is take the minimum element of the last row, and we can do that using our min element algorithm and return that. So the last thing to talk about is the time complexity of this problem, which due to the nested for loop is going to be quadratic. As always, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, hit that like button. If you want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter for reminders 30 minutes before contests start, and you can find all of the code shown in my videos on my GitHub page. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.